Selling your home? Listen up, because even a tiny mistake could cost you thousands. And I see sellers making the same avoidable mistakes over and over again. If you're thinking about selling in North Metro Atlanta, I want to help you keep as much money in your pocket as possible. So today we're breaking down the 7 biggest home selling mistakes that can sabotage your sale. And of course, how to avoid them. How do I know? Because I do this for a living. My name is Sarah and I'm a realtor selling homes in the North Atlanta suburbs. After selling almost 200 homes, I can tell you what works and what doesn't. Stick around to the end because I'm also sharing my #1 strategy that helps sellers maximize their home value before it even hits the market. And before we dive in, if you're thinking about selling and you want a step-by-step game plan, download my free guide, Prep Your Home for Sale. You'll find the link below in the caption. Mistake #1 is overpricing your home. I get it. Every seller wants top dollar for their home, but setting your price too high can backfire big time. The truth is, buyers are more informed than ever. So if your price is out of line with the market, they'll scroll right past your listing. Homes that sit on the market for too long start to look stale, and buyers assume something's wrong with them. Or even worse, they just never sell. I once worked with a seller who insisted on listing their home for $50,000 over the comparable market value. After multiple months of lowball offers and very few showings, we adjusted that price and it sold within 2 weeks at the original market price we had suggested. So how do you avoid this mistake from the start? Work with a local expert, hi, that's me, to analyze recent sales, not just what's for sale, but what's actually sold in your area. Pricing your home strategically means you'll attract multiple buyers and sometimes maybe even get a bidding war going. Mistake #2 is poor listing photos. Guess what? Your first showing isn't in person, it's online. Listings with professional photos get more views, more showings, and higher offers. Dark, cluttered, or low quality images, those can drive buyers away before they even step inside. It irks me in my core when I see a beautiful home that is making its grand debut with cell phone pictures. If you have a home that you want to sell for top dollar, you need it to look like top dollar. We go above and beyond traditional photos with our listings. We also do virtual tours and drone photography to really highlight the home on multiple platforms. Invest in professional real estate photography, which I always provide for my sellers. Make sure your home is clean, well lit, and staged before photos are taken. Which leads me to mistake #3, skipping staging. Buyers aren't just looking for a house, they're looking for their future home. Empty rooms can feel cold and uninviting, and overly personalized decor can make it hard for buyers to see themselves living there. And truthfully, many times the most decorated homes can look cluttered in photos. And as we previously discussed, it's the photos that make buyers want to see your home or skip it altogether. So get a professional's opinion. Take it from someone like me who walks through homes for a living. I can tell you what works and what absolutely doesn't. I'll tell you what needs to go or what needs to be brought in. A general rule of thumb is declutter and depersonalize as much as possible. If your home is vacant, consider hiring a stager or lightly staging those key rooms like the living room and the primary bedroom. This can increase offers. At first, sellers are typically reluctant or maybe even sometimes offended. That's never the goal, but when you've lived somewhere for a long time, you can often grow numb to how your house looks. Having a fresh pair of eyes can give your home a fresh look, and it can be done for a very minimal cost. Last year, I had a client who had lived in her home for 20-something years with furniture from the 1970s, a porcelain doll collection, and a bright lime green kitchen. We brought in a professional staging company who removed some of that outdated furniture. We painted the bright colors with soft neutrals, and what would you know, we had multiple offers the first weekend on the market. And on that note, don't forget the curb appeal either, because first impressions matter a lot. Buyers decide within seconds whether they even want to step foot inside your house. Overgrown landscaping, faded paint, or an ugly front door, these small things can make buyers think that the home hasn't been well cared for. It is 100% worth adding fresh pine straw or mulch, pressure washing your driveway, and I also strongly believe that every front door must have a pretty wreath on it. Mistake number 4 is making showings difficult, because if buyers can't get into your home, they're not going to buy it. Restrictive showing times limit your pool of potential buyers. Last-minute cancellations or requiring 24-hour notice, that can push buyers towards another home instead. So try to make your home as accessible as possible, especially those first 2 weeks. Be flexible and ready for short notice showings. If your schedule's tight, maybe work with your realtor to plan open house blocks to maximize the exposure. And remember, you won't have to live in a show-ready home forever. This is just a season, and it's literally your money at stake. Mistake number 5 is neglecting repairs. Buyers today don't want a laundry list of things to fix. Because houses are more expensive than the past, interest rates are higher, so walking into a house that you're going to have to dump thousands into is not so appealing. Even small issues like leaky faucets or chipped paint can make buyers wonder if there are bigger problems lurking underneath. Mistake number 6 is getting too emotional. What happens when you've lived in your home for a really long time? You've raised your family there, you picked out the perfect shade of light blue and the coolest stair runner you've ever seen, and then a buyer comes through and has a very rude, unpopular opinion about your home. Well, sellers who are emotionally attached to their homes often reject reasonable offers, and they struggle with feedback, which will make negotiations difficult. And I'll give you a real life example. I once had a client who was so offended by the buyer's request for a carpet allowance. Her carpets were perfectly white, and she had worked so hard for years to keep them that way. Now, that carpet was also over 20 years old. Was the buyer's request unreasonable? Maybe so, but they were not asking for anything else to be repaired in that 20-year-old house. Not the older roof, not the older air conditioner, despite the inspection report showing that they needed a little love. So after taking a pause, stepping back, and discussing the numbers, the carpet allowance was agreed upon and the deal closed smoothly. My best advice is to treat your home sale as a business transaction. It is not personal, it is business, it's numbers. Lean on your realtor's expertise to help you make data-driven decisions. Mistake number 7 is hiring the wrong agent. Unfortunately, not all real estate agents are created equal. I know, that sounds crazy, but it's true. Some agents just stick a sign in the yard and hope it sells. This is what we call a lazy agent, and I see this happen all the time. Others, like me, actually work to sell your house. We use proven marketing strategies to attract the right buyers and help you get top dollar. So how do you avoid hiring the lazy agent? Well, choose an agent with a strong marketing plan who uses professional photography and has expert negotiation skills. How do you do this? You interview them. And no offense to your mom's best friend's son who just got his real estate license because he hears real estate is easy, but when you are hiring an agent, oftentimes you're paying them big money to help you get a good return on your most expensive investment. So you should carefully consider who you choose. You should ask them how they plan to market your home. Also, do your own research. Check their recent sales. This is easy to find on Zillow. There are agents who have a ton of listings with signs in yards, and then there are agents who actually sell a ton of houses. Know the difference. I promised I'd share my #1 strategy to get top dollar, and here it is: strategic pre-marketing. In Georgia, we are allowed to list a home as a coming soon listing for a period of time. By doing this, we are generating a buzz about your house before it even officially hits the market. During this time on our end, we can use targeted online marketing, which creates demand. And in doing this, we are experiencing shorter than average days on market and busier open houses. I've literally had buyers thanking me for the advance notice, saying they put the open house on their calendar for over a week in advance. Now, a buyer that puts an open house on their calendar is a serious buyer. Want to know more? Send me an email and we'll talk strategy. Selling your home doesn't have to be overwhelming if you have the right plan in place. Avoid these 7 mistakes and you'll be in a great position to sell quickly and for top dollar. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more real estate advice. And don't forget to grab my free guide, Prep Your Home for Sale. It's packed with everything you need to know to sell your home the right way. And if you're looking to sell in North Metro Atlanta, make sure you also interview me.